Hi there, Virgo. Welcome and thank you so much for tuning in to my channel, The Fool's Journey Tarot. You are watching a general love reading for the sign of Virgo for the month of March 2021. I want to remind all of my viewers that this is a general love reading, and of course that means it can apply to any kind of situation or circumstance that you might be dealing with. It can also apply to any type of relationship or relationships that you are dealing with, romantic or otherwise, so just keep that in mind. It's important to remain flexible with the energy, so in other words, you can be represented by any of the characters that shows up in the cards regardless of gender. You might feel like this is a reading for you personally, but you could also potentially feel like you're cross-watching for somebody else, even if you're a Virgo. My intention is always to reach those that need this message and will benefit from it. So obviously I hope that you're entertained by it. I hope you enjoy it. I do hope that it resonates for you, but more importantly, if you decide that it resonates for you, I hope that it is beneficial to you and helpful to you in some way. So we'll go ahead and get started, Virgo. I'm going to give this first deck one more good shuffle and a cut, and then we're going to see what's in the cards for Virgo for March 2021. Here we go. Oops, I gotta do one more shuffle. If I cut and like a card gets left on the table or I knock, stack off, it's my rule that I have to do one more shuffle. Okay, here we go. We got the cut right this time, and Sylvester's here. Well, come on up. He's been doing pretty well with just sitting in my lap, so hopefully he'll do the same now. Otherwise, you're gonna have to go. You gotta sit, but you can't just be in my way. Come on. We have the Five of Wands in reverse, the Tower in reverse, the Devil in reverse, Ten of Pentacles, Justice. Sorry for the glare. I do have a new light, a new ring light, and it's really awesome, but it still gives off a glare on the cards. Wheel of Fortune, Six of Cups in reverse, and the Eight of Cups. See, this isn't really not being in my way. I mean, I'm glad you're not making biscuits right now, but it'd be nice if you could sit down. Can you sit? He just heard a car outside, so he became all alarmed. Someone rumbling down the street at a high speed, which is not great because we have narrow roads where I live and lots of cars park along the side of the street. So if they're rumbling down the road at high speeds, not a good idea. I don't know why I'm cutting. I haven't even looked at this first set yet. Let's shuffle a bit more and look at this first set for Virgo. Okay. So this could apply to a family dynamic or family situation with the Ten of Pentacles out here. We'll just get that out first. I feel like there could be a significant relationship, one of longevity. This could be one from the past. This could be a family connection. This could be soulmate energy with the Six of Cups out here, but there's some kind of something from the past perhaps that is not resolved, or that's stirring up memories, or something that you're trying to get past, something that you're trying to leave in the past. Let's get some more cards on the table now. See what else we get for Virgo. Nine of Swords in reverse, Ten of Swords, Seven of Pentacles, the Fool in reverse, Six of Wands, Knight of Pentacles, Ace of Cups in reverse. Baby boy, you're making this really challenging for me, the way you're sitting. And the Hermit. So I feel like there's been some kind of ending. This could be what you're dealing with. It feels like this might be an ending associated with the Six of Cups energy, someone very significant or important to you. It looks like it's causing you some grief more internally than anything else. You might be thinking a lot about it, might be troubled by it, and looking to get past this once and for all. Make some progress with getting past this. This could be a situation where other people are aware that you're kind of struggling with this, and hopeful that you will also make some progress in moving forward, getting past this. I think that you're keeping it to yourself, though. So there might be this perception by others that you are making progress, but I think it's still on your mind. Again, some kind of ending. This may also feel frustrating to you because you are aware that other people know that you're kind of going through this, and maybe you don't want to bother others about it. So I feel like you've kind of kept it to yourself. Definitely kind of internalize this, whatever this is for you, Virgo. Let's get some more cards on the table. We have the King of Cups in reverse. Knight of Pentacles again. Knight of Cups in reverse. The Fool again, this time in the upright. It's in reverse right here. Nine of Wands in reverse. Eight of Pentacles in reverse. And these cards are hard to see in the light. I apologize for that. Three of Pentacles. And then we have Eight of Cups in reverse, right on top of the Eight of Cups in the upright position. Okay, it's possible, Virgo, that the reason you haven't been able to get past this or make the kind of progress that you've been hopeful for, in other words, trying to get over an ending or trying to resolve an ending, perhaps some kind of conflict or issue from the past with regard to a specific relationship. It's possible you have not been able to get past this because it's going to require that you actually work with this person. In other words, maybe you have to have a conversation with this individual. Maybe you have to process through this ending with this individual. Maybe there needs to be some kind of closure. I get the feeling that there needs to be some kind of a communication or contact with this individual. So before you get past it, you actually have to return to the issue, but it also has to include maybe actual contact with this individual, whether through a text message, phone call, or actual face-to-face. But I'm getting that feeling that the reason why it's been so difficult to get past this, why it seems to be lingering in your head, is because there is this necessity to communicate or resolve this issue with the person that it actually involves. So this King of Cups is the person I'm reading for. I want to remind you, male or female, you can embody this energy. This King of Cups is in reverse. I feel like this person is at least the strategy at hand, or the way this person has been trying to move past this, is to kind of disconnect emotionally or to withhold emotions, not express themselves, not wear their heart on their sleeve. They're not allowing people to see how they really feel. Again, there's a significant indication of internalizing whatever this was. But again, based on what I'm seeing in the cards, I think that there are other people. It could be extended family members, could be close friends. It feels like people that are close to you that are aware of the struggle that you're going through. And they might, because of this internalization, they might see this as already coming to justice, or you've moved past this, or you've moved forward, or you've been able to get, you know, away from these thoughts, or away from this ending, or whatever this was. Without a lot of effort, because that's just the way it's meant to be. In other words, you didn't, I think that the perception is that you haven't had to fight to get past this, because it just naturally has happened, because that's how it has to be. That's the way it was meant to be. But in reality, I think that you're hanging on to something here, Virgo. So I want to remind you, if you're resonating with this reading, but you don't feel like you're this King of Cups, the person who I feel this reading is for, you could be a crossword watcher, you could be the person that this individual is dealing with, or you could be an external party who's aware of what this person is going through. So again, be flexible with the energy. Let's get some more cards out here for Virgo. We have the Page of Cups, 10 of Wands in reverse, Judgment, Ace of Wands in reverse, 6 of Swords in reverse, the Moon, Knight of Wands in reverse, and then the 6 of Pentacles. So you might have this thought in your head, Virgo, well, what if I just kind of approach this situation maybe with an apology, or just an offer, hey, let's have a sincere conversation, or you know, I think that part of what you're internalizing, part of what you may be worrying about, is how do I resolve this issue for myself while still being true to myself and true to what the right outcome should be. I do think that with this 10 of Wands in reverse coming out here on top of this 10 of Swords, to me, could indicate like an overturning of the ending. In other words, you could again, either relieve yourself of this once and for all and walk away from it, or maybe you can change the outcome of this ending if you take the right approach. I think that it's probably not what you were expecting to hear, that, hey, I need to get in contact with this person and actually resolve this issue with them. But I think that this person that you're dealing with, Virgo, is going through the same thing you're going through. I think this person's trying to seek answers, and really what it comes down to is, I think that they're trying to figure out, you know, do I walk away from this once and for all, or do I return to figure this out once and for all? This is the 8 of Cups in reverse. I know it's hard to see, but I just get the feeling like there is mutual energy here with regard to having a clear understanding that there's something that's gone on unresolved with regard to this ending that occurred between you and this person feels like they're on the same page. In other words, they're dealing with the same kind of energy that you are. So it would be beneficial for you to come together and resolve this together. And again, even if that means having a conversation, sending a text or an email, and but it, you know, it does, the cards are indicating that there is a need to have some kind of communication or contact with this person to once and for all move on from this. And again, I think there's this perception by those that are around you, those that are close to you, that you've already made progress, you've already made significant headway with regard to getting past the situation. And it may appear on the outside looking in that that's been accomplished without a lot of effort or work. Like it's just kind of with time, it's dissipated, it's kind of disappeared for you or become a non-issue. But that's what it appears on the outside looking in. It's not in reality what's going on for this King of Cups. So we have Strength, the Knight of Cups again, this time in the upright position. Five of Swords in reverse. The Hierophant in reverse. The Magician. Three of Wands. King of Swords. And then we have the Three of Pentacles again. Okay, Sylvester, you're lucky. I love you so much because this is really uncomfortable to reach over you, but I wish you'd sit down. Can you just curl yourself up in a little ball here and make yourself comfortable, please? So I think one of the things that you might be going over in your head, the thing that might be causing you a little bit more of this internal anxiety, this internal grief, is trying to determine if you are to make a decision to approach this person, communicate with this individual, try to resolve things. To what level do you at what level do you approach this? Okay, I'm not. Is this a casual kind of, hey, by the way, can we talk about this kind of casual, hey, you remember what happened back then? Let's see if we can figure this out. Or do you have a more intense approach where you say, look, this has really been bothering me. It's been in my head for a while. We need to talk. To what level do you approach this conversation or this interaction with this person that you're dealing with, the person that you had this ending with? Because I think depending on your level of intensity with how you approach this coming together, this communication, could also determine the ultimate outcome or the response that this person has to you. You might be communicating with somebody, this King of Swords energy. This could represent your higher self. This could represent your spirit guides. This could represent somebody that you're communicating with who's giving you some advice. This King of Swords is the one who has kind of suggested the whole idea of working together with this individual to close things out or come to some kind of conclusion or iron things out, put everything out on the table. This person, again, whether it's your higher self suggesting to you, hey, I need to actually talk to this person to get to the bottom of things, or if it's somebody who, again, you might be talking to, a close friend, a counselor, someone of that nature, someone who's not going to lead you astray, someone that's going to give you very truthful and honest advice. This is the person who suggested that, hey, it's time to get together with this person and get this figured out. Now the question is, how do I approach this person? What's the level of intensity that I approach this person? Is it a casual, hey, how you doing? Just wanted to see how things were going, to, hey, this has really been dwelling on my mind. Can we iron things out? Can we talk? You know, can we resolve things? Whatever this looks like to you. Let's get this last round out. So we have the Six of Wands again. Temperance. Two of Swords in reverse. Three of Cups in reverse. The Knight of Pentacles again. Three of Swords. King of Pentacles. And then the Eight of Wands. Okay, so I just want to clear something up first before I move any further and forget this thought. All of the energy represented on this table is this King's energy. I can't tell who you're dealing with, Virgo. So in other words, I can't tell you what this person's thinking other than to say that they're on the same page with you, and there is an indication in the cards that communication is possible. That this person would not be resistant to having a conversation. Maybe that's something that you didn't expect too. Maybe you're like, well, they're not going to talk to me, or this person's not interested in having this conversation. And again, this could be romantic or otherwise. I can't tell what kind of relationship this is based on the cards that are here. Again, I want to point out that I think there's this perception from others around you that you have made significant progress moving past this. That you have the ability to respond and react to this in any manner that you want to. And I think that the reason why you're still kind of hemming and hawing over this within your head is that you haven't decided the level at which this is affecting you emotionally on the long term, and how you should deal with that matter. Because I think, at least to a certain extent, that after all of this time has passed, you've come to the conclusion that this is still a thought going through my head after all this time. I need to make a decision once and for all how to deal with this. Because just leaving the conflict in the past and thinking to myself, it'll just dissipate with time and I ultimately get to walk away from this and let this go, that for whatever reason, at least up to this point, hasn't worked for you. And there is some indication that the fact that other people, I think, around you that are close to you and significant to you almost seem dismissive of this situation, or in other words, it's not talked about anymore, or maybe they just see, oh, you know, Virgo's gotten past this already, so it's not an issue that even needs to be talked about because Virgo's making progress. This, you know, everything's good. Things are as they should be. that kind of mentality coming from other people looking in who don't know what's going on in your head, that I think is causing conflict for you within the relationships that you're close to, because they're not seeing that something's wrong. They're not seeing that you're struggling with this. But to be fair, Virgo, you're not expressing yourself. You're not being very open and honest about this. And maybe there's a reason behind that. Maybe you don't want to bother other people with your concerns or with your thoughts. You don't want this to be something that would put them ill at ease because they know that you're troubled by this. Or maybe you don't want to get other people involved because you don't want that unsolicited advice that people tend to give when they know that someone is hurting or someone is troubled, and they just say, well, here's what you should do. Everybody, well, a lot of people do that. I do that, and I have to stop myself sometimes when I'm having a conversation with somebody who's expressing a conflict that they're going through, or some troubles that they're having, or some hurt that they're dealing with. My initial response is to give advice or try to console the person. But if it's not asked for explicitly, hey, can you help me out with this? A lot of times people expressing themselves are just doing it because it makes them feel better to talk about it. They don't want you to tell them what to do, because ultimately probably what you have to say is not going to match what they really want to do or what they're thinking. Just a little side note there, Virgo. I think to a certain extent, based on what I'm seeing in the cards, there has been this attempt again to kind of dismiss this, put it out of your mind, make it, think to yourself, I'm making a mountain out of a molehill. This isn't really something I need to be dwelling on. What's done is done. What's said is said. What's over is over. Trying to talk yourself out of feeling compelled about thinking about this, however, has not worked for you in the long term. And I think that's why you're getting a reading like this, because it is something you have to address on a more significant level. And this King of Pentacles, 8 of Wands out here, I think this is indicating kind of like the ball is in your court. This King of Swords, whoever this is to you, whether it's your higher self or a friend or a counselor or a lawyer, whatever this looks like for you, someone who's giving you sage advice, by the way, saying, look, take responsibility for this and run with it. Contact this person. They're likely feeling the same way you are, and address the issue. Have that conversation that you want to have, because that's what's going to resolve this for you. And the King of Pentacles is somebody who would do that. The King of Pentacles is somebody who's going to take responsibility and say, okay, I'm going to go ahead and accept the responsibility. I'm going to go ahead and do this. I'm going to make the effort to communicate. I don't know what will result from my effort, but this is what's going to happen. I'm going to take this card. And we have the 7 of Air in reverse. Now, of course, 7 of Swords, 7 of Air, all about deception, righting the wrongs that have occurred in the past. This card does have a little bit of a different meaning in this book. Let's see what it has to say. It's reversed, so it's a potential blockage, Virgo. And then we're going to wrap this reading up. It's very interesting, intriguing story, and I'm hopeful for you. I have a feeling, based on what I'm seeing, that you're receiving sage advice, number 1, from whoever this King of Swords is, and number 2, I feel like because of the level of time, amount of time that you've been processing through this, it feels like there will be, if you take the right steps, if you take the advice of this individual, it looks like at the very least, you're going to be well received with regard to communication. Whoever this person is open for that. And that all by itself, I think, is going to help you quite a bit. with resolving this issue. Okay, so the potential blockage, this is pretty short. It's just a short paragraph. I'll display the card in the upright for you, hopefully without a glare. Here we go, Virgo. The Seven of Air reversed represents a need to step back and moderate any extreme or fundamentalist behavior. You do not do your cause any justice by following a fundamentalist path. The only thing this achieves is to make those around you who do not share your beliefs angry and resistant to the changes you are attempting to impose upon them. Instead of opening minds, you can close them tighter than a steel trap. When the Seven of Air reversed appears in your reading, seek a gentler, more moderate approach. Educate instead of trying to indoctrinate. Don't use cruel and punishing methods. They never work. All they do is perpetuate the paradigms that you seek to end. Okay, I think that this is actually advice to be careful with, again, exposing your intentions to others who don't quite understand what you're dealing with at this point in time. Because, again, I think that they are seeing this differently than you are, and part of that has to do with the fact that you've kind of kept this to yourself and internalized this information. But also, this might indicate that if you were to speak to others who are not on board with where you are regarding the progress of the situation, that they could potentially give you that unsolicited advice that really is not warranted or wanted or helpful in any way. Well, here's what I would do in this situation, because that, you know, what do you do when you're giving unsolicited advice and you don't know the ins and outs of a personal situation? Well, you go with what everybody else would say. Well, yeah, you should approach it this way because that's what everybody else would do. Well, that's not what you're looking for, right? Right, Virgo? So I think this card is giving some good advice. Looks like you've processed through this information quite a bit and you've come to terms with some certain things. And it's really a simple answer. It looks like communication is the key here. What the outcome will be, you know, whether it's just closure or gaining a new insight and maybe reversing this ending, whatever that looks like for you, I think it'll be different for everybody. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up for you, Virgo. Sylvester's made himself comfortable in my lap finally. He's curled up in a little ball. I hope that you enjoyed the reading. I hope that it resonated for you. I hope that you got something out of it. If it did resonate, please like, share, subscribe. If you feel like leaving a comment, telling your story, I always appreciate that. Thanks so much for watching, Virgo, and I will see you next time. Take care. Bye.